I've got Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope Facebook page on YouTube. Just got off Facebook there from Ryan Tyson, Australian, and he was joking with us about accents. And it's funny accents because, as you can probably tell, I'm from Glasgow, Scotland. And what's funny about accents is you think that the language thing is easy, right? To get you to understand where you're from. Now you would think that, but I remember going to New York, and in New York I've got lots of cultures, and I think I've spoke about this before. And the only person that really summed us where I came from was the taxi drivers. But going on the plane to Spain, going to a plane to America, right? When we spoke, nobody got where we were from, and thought we were German. We thought we were, thought we were Irish or whatever. They just couldn't grasp our accent. Now Australian, they've got an accent as well, and it's very. I can't do accents. I wish I could. I sometimes try to do. I try to do an Indian accent. I end up sounding a wee bit like a Pakistani with the Glasgow accent, and I just can't do it. But my partner, she can do them all, and it's just it is funny. We don't, you don't recognise your own accent unless you're watching the TV, and and then I don't know. It's like when I watch a TV show and there's a Scottish person on it, from the audience, and out comes this accent. It says, "Do we sound like that? Seriously, we can't sound like that." But I'm so and I talked to Kevin Smith, and the guy before me, when I was talking to Kevin Smith, he was one of those accents where you couldn't understand. I was like, what? God, that's really fast Scottish, whatever that was. Just nobody could understand them. And I've always sort of referred to it as like a posh accent, but anyway, I was on the plane and nobody was understanding us, and I'm thinking, have you seen Braveheart? Okay, because Braveheart, the guy is speaking with a Glaswegian accent. Surely, they may have our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. The way he said it was Glaswegian. And if you can understand William Wallace, if you can understand Mel Gibson doing a Glaswegian accent, surely you can understand us. It's just, and you watch these soaps, and American soaps, British soaps or whatever, and hats off to actors and actresses that have got that wee bit when they're learning the lines, and they have to get rid of the accent and speak in a more sort of worldly accent. It's like Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy. Okay, you see him in Sons of Anarchy, you think, oh no, he speaks that way. But then when he goes on to chat shows and everything else, then comes out the British sort of Newcastle or something like that accent. And it's weird. And one of the programmes that turned me off was, who was the guy? It was the House, an American TV show called, was it House? Was it House? And the British actor that was in that was a guy that was playing Stuart Little's father, and he was in it. And gone was his sort of British accent, and it was this other weird voice that was coming out, and it just didn't sit well for me. It just weird. It was, oh God, who was it again? His name was on the tip of my tongue. Mel and Smith. It doesn't matter. And and that's what's weird about accents, and and that must be one of the criteria of becoming an actor, is you have to speak this certain way. And sadly enough, the Glaswegian accent is not one of those nice romantic, because you've got your Spaniards or your French, and they're meant to be the language of love, and the Scottish accent is really like, I'm going to kill you, sucker, sort of thing. It's a quite hard man. And then you've got the African accent in America and stuff like that. And the white man's accent, the southern accent, and it's just weird. You go in, it's weird, and hats off to all those universal. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. If you can't understand this, I apologise. A lot of people say Scottish people talk fast. Sometimes when I listen to the English speaking people, I feel like they're not pronouncing their words correctly. So it's just, they've got a different way of pronouncing words. You miss out the P's or the B's or something like that, and it's just bizarre how we talk. We always talk about talking different languages, but we don't talk about the accents, and the accents can throw us all. I don't know, but I have been told this accent is funny or delightful by some commentators. Somebody's said it's putting off, so I don't know. I could try and do a Sean Connery accent, and I could speak for the rest of the film just like this. Maybe that's a wee bit more easier to understand. I would love to do Alec Guinness. These are not the rides you're looking for. I would love to do that. If I could do Alec Guinness, or who else would I love to do? I could just speak to him like that all the way. Christopher Walken. Oh God. Al Pacino. Say hello to my little friend. Those voices, if you could do them, you would, wouldn't you? You'd speak. Anyway, on to the DC sort of news. So, a guy, remember, I'm always cracking on about John Campion because he's hurt my heart. And because I was a follower. So then I was directed to this guy, Film Gub. Sorry, the phone's getting right into my face here. Right? And he's made this thing about Wonder Woman, and I'm going to put a wee link to the top of the video, but here's a wee snip peek of it.
The actresses have gone into audition for a female role in the Man of Steel sequel, Batman vs. Superman, which they say might be either Wonder Woman or Bruce Wayne's love interest. Among the names they list are Fast and Furious's Gal Gadot. John, will any of these actresses be Wonder Woman?
Nope. But I can personally guarantee you, as far as my own subjective opinion goes, I can personally guarantee you that none of these girls are for Wonder Woman. These are probably for the love interest of Bruce Wayne, which is not Wonder Woman. First of all, none of these girls, while I like all of them, none of these girls could carry their own franchise. Like, I don't think any of these girls could carry their own solid film as the main lead, let alone a franchise, which is what they want Wonder Woman to be. So she can't just be in there. Also, all of these girls, I think, weigh about 65 pounds. I'm not really sure about that. I haven't weighed them myself. But no, on the basis alone that none of these girls, as an actress, could carry a franchise on their shoulders, no way are these girls going to be Wonder Woman. Jamie Alexander. And we did an AMC Movie Talk panel at Stanley's Kamikaze down at the LA Convention Center, and we had Jamie Alexander as a special guest. She was our moderator, actually.
Wonder Woman? Anything Wonder Woman? Please? I don't care the art, I don't care what it's about, but please take the curse of Wonder Woman.
Maybe Jamie Alexander can help take the curse off Wonder Woman. Right?
She gave some really neat tidbits. You might have seen it, the news flying around the internet, that on her panel she revealed that she has been talking to DC.
Phoebe writes, straight to the question. Since you talked about the Marvel Civil War in the recent past few days, do you think we could possibly ever see that made into a movie? Of course, I refer to DC versus Marvel as one. And I gotta be honest, I have had, I guess, some conversations between both companies lately, and I really do not think that will ever happen.
That she knows the story of Batman versus Superman, so I'll let you guys put two and two together. And I'm not going to give anything terribly close away, but if you guys think what she said on stage was pretty cool about, the fact that she's talked to DC and that she knows the story of Batman versus Superman, it ain't nothing to what she told me off stage. But I can't tell you what she told me off stage, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Wonder Woman is none other than Fast and the Furious's Gal Gadot, and this is our Wonder Woman. This caught us out of nowhere, and we just heard about it. I got to have my first impressions. This is terrible. This is a terrible casting. Just awful. I don't want a 95-pound Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman ain't 95 pounds. We need somebody a little bit more.
She was in the Israeli army. You guys didn't know that for 2 years. So I don't know what that entails or what kind of training or background she has physically.
She may have been the mail sorter.
But
in the
that's
Israeli
true.
army,
That's the thing. I don't know what.
I'm very negative on this. I think this is a terrible decision. Did John Campea cost Jamie Alexander the Wonder Woman role? But she has about 12 lines in the movie. Some of the lines are pretty wooden. These rumors that went out that Wonder Woman's actually one of the standout characters in the movie. No, played by another actress, it probably would have been better. Everybody knows I don't like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, but that almost doesn't even really matter. If you have a skilled director who knows how to play to their performer's strengths.
I don't want a 95-pound Wonder Woman.
I have a lot of faith in the Wonder Woman film, and none of these girls could carry their own franchise. Like, I don't think any of these girls could carry their own solid film as the main lead, let alone a franchise. But again, I think this movie is going to be a big hit. I think it's going to be critically acclaimed. I think it's going to make a good amount of money. And I think we are going to see Wonder Woman 2, and I'm just glad that they're getting out ahead of it and showing some comedy.
Okay, I'm going to put a link to that, okay, up above. And Fandom Gub, you have my admiration. At first I thought, that you were something else, and then it was pinpointed that you actually take time to make the Mickey out of Collider. So, as I say, I stood by him. I've made a couple of videos about him recently, and I'm getting, so I'm going to try and make this the last one. He took me in. This is the thing, and it's not until you look back, and these are people that have gravitas, that have that sort of pull that people go. I mean, there he is. He's sitting at a panel with an actress beside him, and he must think he must be in there with the crowd and stuff. And then he goes behind backstage and he says, oh, she told me something and I can't tell you, and and it's just, I know that that's their job to tell us their point of views, and we can go in and take it, but what he'd done on a constant basis, from tweeting to Facebooking to every sort of media, he continuously put that actress down. I don't think it would have been looked at as much if he didn't, if he said it once, I don't like her and bad for the role and stuff like that, and then leave it at that and move on to other subjects and say, oh no, I've already said my piece But then he goes and tweets it. He then puts the film down. He makes all these choices, and and it's just, it's childish. It is childish, and I am just dumbsmacked that I followed him and I defended him for so long. But you know what? That's me finished. No more John Campbell Collider videos coming from me after this one, because I've done a few now. Not unless you guys comment or send a message to it and telling me to speak about it. If you message the Facebook page, then I'll talk about it. But right now, it's just weird. And I just had to, I've made this video for two reasons. One, to get back on to answer that guy about the accents, because I couldn't really talk about 5 minutes about accents, really. But I hope you are managing to understand what I am saying. And I hope, big shout out to all the Facebook people. I posted a post about, if you're a fan of the page, please let us know if you're a fan of the page and where you come from. And believe me, I have looked and I couldn't I was liking, this is not loading anymore. I have looked at you, I looked at you all, and I've seen some people actually from my hometown, and from all over the world. It's great. And just please remember, even though it's entitled Man of Steel, we are a fan of every DC character out there. Okay, I know some of you guys are a wee bit sick of Batman getting the attention and stuff like that, but it's DC, you get Batman, you get Superman with it, and vice versa. Okay, Superman says at the end of Superman 1 with Christopher Reeve, we're all part of the same team. Okay, so as I say, check the link up above. Thanks for watching. Stay positive out there, guys and girls.